Let's go. Go. Come on. Come on. This forever. No surrender. No surrender. Yeah. Yeah. You know that this right here forever. Go. Go. And there will be no surrender.
Now allow me to reintroduce myself. They call me J.O.N. to the easy E.N. Know that we undefeated. Y'all are beneath them speeches trying to air a grievance. But his lines are overhead. Better check the air for clearance. Call the tower. This is ours. Clear the heat. The air apparent. Really, I've never been better. Legacy, this is forever. All the more times I've been severed. I'm raising the bar. You can go ahead and measure. Think about time for a toast. Time that we welcome to go. Yo, we're just leaving. I think about time that somebody go get on their coat. You know I got all that anthem. Come back in what you call that add-on. Got anthems and bands with masters. Getting them right like my name was Miranda. I ain't bigger dead than alive. I ain't bigger dead than alive. One more time. This is forever. Remember the legend. He never gon' die.
I ain't bigger dead than alive. Bigger dead than alive. I ain't bigger dead than alive. Dead than alive. I ain't bigger dead than alive. Bigger dead than alive.
Just making sure that you know why. Because this is forever. And there will be no surrender. Yeah. You know that this right here forever. No surrender. It's forever. You know this right here forever. No surrender. It's forever. You know this right here forever. I am just leaving a legacy. I am the one that they paid us. Got something to say to me, say it. You know I've been waiting so patiently. This is my legacy. Y'all don't believe me, then wait. Basically, I have been running things. You can just go on and take a seat. Love when they hated me, put that on everything. Not on my level, you can't be the enemy. This is the plan that we showing them anyway. Hit up the lawyers and give them the NDA. Woo! This is the brand new. This is the brand new. Nothing you can do, nothing you can't do. And there ain't no thing that you'll be taking from me. Man, that came from nothing, made it something. Name is buzzing, call me Ryan Gosling. Hey, gon' know that they gonna love me more when I'm gone or retire the throne. The kind of things that I'm gonna be feeling like a god. Because this is forever. And there will be no surrender.
Hey everyone, welcome to the Stand Up and Vote Trivia Show, a game show about voting hosted by Zumiez and Voto Latino to show you why your voice and your vote matters, and how you can use them to impact the issues you care about. I'm Camille from Voto Latino, coming to you live from DC.
And I'm Danny, also from Voto Latino, also coming to you live from Washington, DC. We're excited to be hosting today and to be partnering with Zumiez this year to continue to help inspire and activate your community to stand up and vote for the issues that matter to you.
Today, we have two special guest contestants joining us to compete. Jeremy Nibs from Santa Cruz is here, and we also have Laura Crenshaw from Zumiez. Today's trivia will cover a range of different issues, every single one of which will be impacted by this election. We don't want our contestants to be the only winners today. We will be giving away stash points to you all for every question our contestants answer correctly. That's a lot of points because we have a ton of questions today. We're also giving away $50 gift cards to 5 lucky audience winners. All you have to do to win is drop a question about voting for us in the chat. Check your whispers after the stream to see if you've won. Also, make sure you're playing along because each contestant will have 2 lifelines to ask you all for help if they run into trouble. Hit the chat to help out when the time comes.
And please remember to post your questions about voting for us in the chat, or if you have any questions for Jeremy, make sure to add those in the chat as well. After the show, we'll have time to answer a few of your questions, and we'll try to get to as many of them as possible. Before we jump in, we need to talk for a second. There is less than 1 week before the final day of voting. This year, if you haven't already voted, you need to vote early. Voting on election day is going to be insane. Either way, make sure you have a plan to vote. If you're voting by mail, it's too late to count on the mail to get your ballot in on time. You need to drop it off ASAP at your nearest drop box or election office. Do you know where that is? If not, Google it right now and write it down. If you're voting in person, do you know where your polling place is? Make sure to look up that as well. Do you know your voting rights? If you're still standing in line when the polling location closes, they have to let you vote. Don't get out of line. To make your plan ahead, head to zumiez.com/standup or votolatino.org to get your plan dialed in. Do it today.
Also, I'm so excited to announce that if you need a ride to vote, we've partnered with Zumiez and Lyft to help you get to the polls. So right now, text Zumiez to our number 73179. Again, that's Zumiez to our number 73179 to claim a ride to and from the polls up to $25 in Lyft ride credit while supplies last. We also really want to hear what you all are standing up and voting for. Hit the I Voted channel on Discord and tell us what you're standing up for and voting for the chance to be featured on our post-election live stream. And guess what? You'd also win a $100 Zumiez gift card for this. Okay, here's the last thing I promise before we get started. If you post a photo to your Instagram and tag #ZumiezStandUp, Zumiez and Accomplice will DM you a stash code to unlock a free mystery tea from Accomplice. There are only 250 available. They're gonna go really quick, so vote early today and post that picture. All right, well, let's get started.
Our first contestant is Jeremy Nibbs from Santa Cruz. How's it going, Jeremy?
It's going good.
Thanks for joining us. Where are you coming from?
I'm in San Francisco, California right now.
Awesome.
Awesome. Our second contestant is Laura Crenshaw from Zumiez. Thank you so much for joining us.
Hey, I'm excited to be here.
Where are you joining us from?
I'm down in South Florida, Fort Lauderdale, Florida.
Oh, awesome. We have several Floridians on the line.
Yep.
Awesome. So before we get going, I have a question for you both. Laura, if you'd like to answer first, that would be awesome.
Sure.
Why is voting important to you at both the local and national level?
So I'm really passionate about voting for a ton of reasons, but living in South Florida, the Everglades is right at my doorstep, and it's so important. It's always been important since I was little. I grew up with it. It's home to endangered species. It's 1/3 of the whole state gets their drinking water from the glades, so it's really important that we protect it. And my vote has the potential to put someone in power that's allocating resources to protect and rebuild my local environment. So that's one of the things that definitely gets me to the polls every year.
Yeah, that's awesome to learn. I love that. What about for you, Jeremy? Why is voting important for you at both the local and national level?
I agree with a lot of what Laura just said. I grew up in Florida, so some of those things definitely touch base with me. On a national level, it's definitely trying to sway which party you favor more. And you might live in a state that might always vote one color, red or blue. You might be on the other side, so your vote definitely can help sway that if you're on the opposing side of that. And then even down to things like the propositions, voting on those is definitely important. Like Prop 22 to help people with the independent drivers for like Lyft and Uber. That's something that's up in the ballots this year that I think should definitely, I'll be voting on that one for sure.
Yeah, that's awesome to hear. Thank you for sharing. All right, let's dig into our trivia. So today I'm super excited to announce we'll be going Jeopardy style. Jeremy, you'll get to pick the first question. And since it's Jeopardy style, you get to keep going until you get a question wrong. Then it'll switch over to Laura. Don't forget, you both have 2 chances to use a lifeline to ask the audience for help. To our audience, remember, for every question our contestants answer correctly, we'll drop a code in the chat that you can redeem a Zumiez stash points for. Danny and I will alternate reading questions out, providing the answers and more info on each question. With that being said, Jeremy, you're up first. We've got 5 categories for this Jeopardy. Category 1 is presidents. Category 2 is the environment. Category 3 is the US. Category 4 is voting. Category 5 is 2020 wildcard. Do you have any picks?
Category 4.
All right. And we have questions at 100 points, 200, 300, 500, and 1,000. Where would you like to start?
I'll just go for 1,000.
All right.
Oh.
All right, so here's your question. How many votes does a candidate need from the Electoral College to win the US presidency?
Oh.
You asked for 1,000.
That's
I know, I might have messed up just now.
I mean, you got a lifeline. I'm throwing that out there.
I'm gonna say 26 because I think it's broken down smaller, but I could be wrong.
Is that final answer? Are you sure?
That'll be my final answer. Yeah.
All right. The correct answer is actually 270.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so you need 270 electoral college votes to win the US presidency. The more you know.
Out of a total of 538.
All right.
Okay, so Laura, it is your turn to pick a question. Again, the categories are presidents, environment, United States, voting, and 2020 wildcard. What are you feeling?
I'm gonna do environment
Okay.
for 500. I'm not gonna go as crazy and go to 1,000 just yet, but I'll do 500.
All right. Environment for 500. What is the name of the environmental package introduced by AOC to tackle climate change?
Oh my God.
And you do have your lifelines.
I don't want to use them just yet. It's so early in the game. Shit. I'm gonna go with AOC green something.
It is green something.
Green something?
Well,
Green
I'll let you keep going if you want to.
Green Accord. I don't know. Final answer.
Not. It is the Green New Deal.
Oh man.
You were close.
I knew that.
The AOC green something will be a different law that she tries to pass later.
You heard it first today on Zumiez stand-up trivia show.
AOC green something. Looking forward to it.
All right, Jeremy, back to you. Categories are presidents, the environment, US, voting, and 2020 wildcard.
All right, I'm gonna go complete opposite in the first one. I'm gonna go presidents for 100.
All right. Who is our current vice president?
Mike Pence.
Correct.
There we go.
Awesome. Where would you like to go to next? Presidents for 200?
Oh, I get to keep going when I get it
Yeah,
right?
you get to keep going.
Oh, okay. Yeah, let's do presidents for 200.
All right. Name 2 presidents that were actors before entering politics.
Richard Nixon and Bill Clinton.
That is incorrect, although Bill Clinton is a saxophone player. The 2 presidents are Reagan and Trump. So Reagan's first Hollywood job was in 1937, which I didn't know. He was in over 50 films. And, you know, Trump had Celebrity Apprentice, but he was also in Home Alone 2 and Zoolander.
I could forget the Trump one. Wow.
Yeah.
Alistair asks Donald Trump for directions.
Yeah.
All right, Laura, it is your turn.
Let's do states for 100.
United States. Okay.
Yeah.
100. How many states are there in the United States of America?
52.
Is that your final
Wait,
answer?
wait. 49.
There are 50
50.
states.
There's 50. We're not live, right? This isn't live, right?
No, don't worry, it's not live.
There's 50 and then there's 2
Yeah.
provinces, right? Fuck.
Jeremy, back to you.
I will do, what's the 5th one?
2020 wildcard.
I'll do 2020 wildcard for 300.
All right. For 300, you said?
Yeah.
All right. What popular skate company made waves in July of 2020 by featuring 32 portraits of the all-time greatest black skaters on both the front and back covers?
Thrasher Magazine, final answer.
That's correct.
I'll do 2020 wildcard for 200.
Awesome. Danny, you want to take it away?
Yep. Who was the 2020 X Games Real Street Best Trick winner?
Nigel Houston, final answer.
Correct. Can you name silver and bronze? You don't lose points if you can. I'm just curious.
I think one of them is Clive Dixon. I'm not sure which place he got. And I'm just going to throw it out there, Robert Neal, final answer.
So
I'm not sure the placings, though.
Was bronze. Alex Midler won silver.
Oh, okay. I forgot Alex was in that.
But you still got it right, so it's still your go.
Oh. I'll do environment for, did we do 100 yet for that one?
No.
Okay, I'll do that.
Or 100. All right. Throughout its history, Earth Day has only been supported by Democrats. True or false?
True. Final answer.
False.
Oh.
The first Earth Day was created in 1970 as a bipartisan effort, and the co-chair of the original teach-in was Pete McCloskey, a Republican congressman.
Okay.
A fun fact, Richard Nixon founded the Environmental Protection Agency. So
Oh, wow.
these
I
things
know that.
can be so divisive.
Interesting.
So Laura, it's your turn.
The comeback, dude. Environment for 200.
Awesome. So 2.4, 3.4, or 4.4, how many pounds of garbage does the average American produce each day?
I'll go with 4.4.
Be about, but that is correct.
Yeah? Okay, cool. Ding, ding, ding. Yay.
All right.
All right,
Yes.
so keep it going. Environment for 300.
Okay. What day is Earth Day?
April 22nd.
Yeah, that's absolutely correct.
Sick. All right. Environment for 1,000.
All right, Camille.
All right. What once covered 14% of the Earth's land area, but by 1991, over half had been destroyed? Let me know if you need a hint.
Can I take a hint?
Yeah, like think South America.
Okay.
Do you want me to reread the question?
Yeah, reread it one more time.
So what once covered 14% of the Earth's land area, but by 1991, over half had been destroyed?
Forests.
More
Island.
specific, possibly?
Rainforest.
Even more specific, possibly?
Oh my God. The Lifeline. It's 1,000.
All right, you guys heard it. Let me read that out again for y'all. And again, this is for 1,000 points. What once covered 14% of the Earth's land area, but by 1991, over half had been destroyed? And South America is the hint.
Someone says tropical.
So am I supposed to like say it now? Or
Yeah, sure. Whatever you think. From the comments.
Amazon.
That is correct.
Thank you.
Great use of Lifeline.
Thanks for that lifeline. Whoever sent it, thank you. Okay, so let's do voting for 100.
Okay. Voting for 100. What is the date of this year's election day?
It's next week. It's Tuesday, the 3rd, November 3rd.
Tuesday is correct. Election days always fall on the first Tuesday. Sorry, the Tuesday following the first Monday of November, which is essentially the first Tuesday, but in the Constitution it says the Tuesday following the first Monday because I don't know why.
For farmers, we learned that on here.
Yeah,
Yeah, for farmers.
a weird way.
Interesting.
Yeah. Tuesday, November 3rd, this coming Tuesday, is election day. Although early voting has become more important because of COVID, it is the last day to submit a vote anywhere in the country. Okay, Laura, it's still your go.
We'll do voting for 200.
All right, true or false? Thomas Jefferson signed the U.S. Constitution.
Jefferson, true.
That's actually false. So although he was on the committee, he's known really for writing the Declaration of Independence.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
All right, Jeremy, it's your turn again.
What numbers do we have left for presidents?
Presidents, we have, you did 100 and 200. We have 300, 500, and 1,000.
All right, I'll try the 300.
Okay.
Presidents for 300.
True or false? There has only been one set of father-son presidents in U.S. history.
True. Final answer.
Actually false. John Adams, who was the second president, was the father of John Quincy Adams, who was the sixth president.
Oh,
And then
wow.
more recently, George H.W. Bush, who was 41st, and George W. Bush, who was 43rd.
Okay.
Back to you, Laura.
Wow. That was presidents for 300?
Mhm.
Yeah.
It's getting tough. Voting for 300.
You got it, Camille?
All right. Between California, Massachusetts, Wyoming, and New Jersey, what was the first state that granted women the right to vote?
Ooh. Name the states again for me.
California, Massachusetts, Wyoming, and New Jersey.
I'll say California.
That's incorrect. It's actually Wyoming. I did not know that.
I don't know.
Wow. Cool.
And that was in 1869, according to this Google Doc.
Wow.
All right, Jeremy, your turn.
I'll do 2020 wild card for 100, if that's still there.
All right, true or false? Beginning of this year, skater Nora Vasconcelos was featured in a Drake music video as an extra in the background.
Huh. I don't recall seeing it, so I want to say false, but it seems like a trick question. But I'm going to go false. Final answer.
False is correct.
Oh.
The note from the Zumiez team says, "We completely made this up." All right, it's your turn again.
I'll go 2020 wild card for 500.
All right. The Olympics announced 5 new sports that were introduced in the 2020 games that have not happened yet, including skateboarding. Name 2 of the additional sports that are in the new upcoming Olympics.
I'm going to have to use my lifeline.
Awesome. I'll read it out for y'all again. So the Olympics announced 5 new sports that were introduced to the 2020 games, including skateboarding. Name 2 additional sports that are new to the upcoming Olympics. And we'll wait for those comments to trickle in.
No comments. Dang, nobody wants to help. Yeah, the only one that I know just because I skate is skateboarding. So that was like a big deal for all of us. But karate surfing.
Is that just one sport or is that 2?
Karate surfing is one sport.
Interesting.
Did you want to go with karate surfing?
I'm going to just shoot from the hip. I'll say surfing and wakeboarding. Final answer.
You sure about the final?
Yeah.
All right. So surfing is a sport, but wakeboarding is not. Karate actually is one of them.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So those sports are baseball, softball, karate, sport climbing, and surfing.
Okay.
Okay, Laura, it's your turn again.
All right, even though I've got slight PTSD for this, I'm gonna go United States for 200.
United States for 200 is name one common mistake that leads to a ballot being rejected and not counted as a vote.
No signature on it.
Yep, exactly. Not signing the ballot.
Another interesting one to remember, always use black pen when you're filling your mail-in ballot out.
Yep.
Oh,
Throwing that out there.
Blue or black ink is the requirement in most states. Some states it might just be black, and some states might not have a requirement. To be safe, just use black.
interesting.
Okay.
We'll do United States for 300.
All right, so since 2000, we have described consistent voting states as red states or blue states. Name one blue state and one red state that has voted the same since 2000.
Ooh, since 2000. Okay, well, Florida is one. That is a red state.
Okay.
And then you said blue state. I'll go with Cali.
Okay, are you sure? Final answer?
Not since you said that. Maybe I'll go with New York.
For blue or red?
Blue.
Okay.
Red was Florida.
Okay.
Blue
So
is New York.
as the resident Floridians, all three of you, I guess, Florida is not on the list for consistent 2000, right?
Really? We didn't have a Democrat
Florida-
in party for 2000, did we?
Florida went blue in 2008 for Obama.
Oh,
2012 for
okay,
Obama.
yeah. Okay, my
Yeah.
bad.
But California and New York, yeah, those are very blue states.
Okay, cool. Cool, go Florida.
All right, Jeremy. What's it gonna be?
I'll do we have presidents for 500 still?
Presidents for 500. We do. How old do you have to be to run for president?
I believe you have to be at least 35 years old. Final answer.
35 is correct. All right, it's your turn again.
I'll do presidents for 1,000.
All right, name the three qualifications set in the Constitution to become president. You just named one of them.
Okay, you have to be 35. Oh. What are the other two? You have to be born in the United States.
Mhm.
And you have to have lived in the United States for at least 14 years consecutively. Final answer, and 35 years old.
I say we should give it to him, right? Yeah, that's correct. So you technically don't have to be born in the US, just be a US citizen, but you got that 14 number right, of being a resident for 14 years. So
Okay.
correct answer.
Just to
Were there
clarify,
any other ones that would go with it, or is that just those three?
So just those three,
Okay.
which is interesting, but yeah.
just to clarify, if you're born in the United States, you're automatically a U.S. citizen, and then if you're born outside of the United States but two American citizens, you can also qualify for citizenship. So
Okay.
it works out the same.
Alright.
So it is your turn again.
I'll do the 2020 wild card for 1,000 because I think that's the last one left with that.
So, all right. The new Tony Hawk Pro Skater 1 and 2 dropped earlier this year. How old was Tony Hawk when he became a pro skater?
Ooh.
I should know this because I did a biography on him when I was in elementary school. I'm gonna say he was 14 years old. Final answer.
That's exactly right.
Wow.
In that project.
That one I definitely should have guessed.
Awesome. Still your turn.
Environment, is there 300 left? Or are we past that?
We did 300. There is Nope, we are all out of
Environment.
Mhm.
All right. Do we still have any of the United States ones left?
We have 500 and we have 1,000.
All right, I'll try the 500.
All right, name the most famous tourist landmark located in South Dakota.
South Dakota. Mount Rushmore?
Correct.
Nice.
All right. And I'll do United States for 1,000.
All right. Name a southern state that has a law that prohibits you to eat cottage cheese after 6 p.m. or on a Sunday.
Southern state. I'm gonna go with Louisiana. Final answer.
The answer is not Louisiana, it is Florida. And it's specifically in the Tampa region, or Tampa
No way.
area.
I never knew that. I grew up in Tampa. I never knew that. Wow.
Did you ever eat cottage cheese after 6 p.m. on a Sunday?
I don't ever eat cottage cheese, period.
Yeah, some other weird Florida laws. Standard parking fines for elephants tied to parking meters in Sarasota. It's illegal to sell oranges on the streets of Miami, which is not enforced. It's illegal for women to fall asleep under a hairdryer while at a hair salon. Florida.
Florida.
I love Florida, dude.
Yeah. All right, Laura, it is your turn.
Is the only one left voting 500, or are there other ones left?
I'm doing a quick run through of the list.
I believe voting 500 is the last question.
Cool. Yep. Let's go.
All right. So this is a true or false. What are the three? Oh wait, it's not a true or false. You have to
Oh
name
no.
it. What are the
50-50,
three
man.
branches of the federal government?
Oh, okay. Legislative, executive, and judicial.
There you go.
Good stuff. So that's it. Who won?
So our winner is Jeremy with 3,700 points.
Nice.
Wow.
Good stuff, man.
Yeah. So thank you to both Jeremy and Laura for playing. Congratulations, Jeremy, for winning today's Stand Up and Vote trivia show. And thank you to our audience for your help and for tuning in.
Yeah, so now it's time to take your questions. Let's hear what questions you have about voting. There are a lot of good of them, a lot of good ones. Wow, I can't talk.
You can pick the first one, Camille.
Yeah, but here's an interesting question. How long is the voting line if you go in person?
That really depends where you are, what time you get to the polling place, and a bunch of different factors. So that's a hard question to answer. Lines can be a couple hours long. I've seen people who have voted this year, they're in and out in 10 minutes. It really depends where you are and when you go.
Yeah, early voting is the thing too. So I would recommend you can go to our website, votolatino.org, to learn, what early voting looks like in your state and if you can cast a ballot before November 3rd. I'm from Texas, so I know that one offhand. Texas's deadline is tomorrow. There's no early voting happening the weekend before the election or Monday the 2nd. What's interesting though, if the line is long, you can at this group called Pizza the Polls, and they'll send you pizza to your polling site if you report a long line. So that's something I wanted to throw out there.
All right. This question is for the whole group. Do you have to vote for every election on your ballot?
I think you can just pick the things that you feel like you want to vote for. I don't think you're required to vote for everything.
Yep, correct. You can leave things blank on your ballot and the things that you choose to vote for will still be counted. But at the same time, it's a good practice and a good idea to vote for everything so that you can have a say in every level of government that is going to touch your life and affect you on a daily basis. So we recommend voting for everything, but you don't have to.
Here's a good one. Is there any way to confirm that my mail-in ballot has gone through? So there is. Definitely depends on what state you live in, but you can easily call your state board of elections office and ask them. Just expect to be on the phone for like 5 minutes or so, but it's worth it for peace of mind. Because the pandemic has made voting look so different this year. A couple of states have tried building out like online portals that can track where your mail-in ballot is. That's not built out in every state yet though. So again, visit your Board of Elections website for your particular state. So if you live in Georgia, just like Google search Georgia Board of Elections, call that number for your county and ask them if they've received your ballot.
Yeah, also I did mail-in voting this year. And on my mail-in ballot, there was a link and it said, 5 days after you mail this in, go to this link. And I went and there was a page that said your ballot has been received and has been accepted. So there are definitely ways to find out that your ballot has been counted. If you go to the link or you call the office and they tell you that your ballot was not counted or is not received, talk to them about it, see what the problem is. In some cases, kind of rare cases, but in some cases they are able to help you fix any problems that you've had with your ballot. So do everything you can to make sure that your vote is counted. And if you're voting by mail, just make sure to check, give it a look and see that your vote has been received by the mail or in the mail. Here's a question. Does it cost money to vote? Laura?
No, it does not cost money to vote. I mean, unless you count like getting out to the poll, it does not cost money, but you can text to Zumiez. What's the code again for us?
Yeah, so text Zumiez to 73179 and Couch will drop it in the chat. But, voting should be something that's easy for all of us to do. That's why Voto Latino and Zumiez partner together to get y'all Lyft rides to be sure that your ballot is cast. And I do want to say too, like, if you need to catch a ride to drop off your mail-in ballot, by all means use that code. Like, that is also voting. So definitely don't hesitate to use that code to make sure that your voice is heard this election.
Here's a really, really important question. Is it too late to mail in my vote?
Yes, actually. So the Postal Service recommends that you actually physically deliver your ballot in at this point, just to make sure that it gets counted on election day.
Yeah, because of COVID, because of how many people are voting by mail, and also because some of our elected officials have decided to sabotage the United States Postal Service, they cannot guarantee that your ballot will be received in time if you did not mail it. I think by yesterday was their recommended date. So if you still have your mail-in ballot, see where there's a drop-off box, or you can drop it off at a polling location or at your Board of Elections office. But yes, it is too late to mail in your vote and guarantee that it will be received by election day.
Yeah. Here's a good question that may spark some interesting dialogue. I'd love for Jeremy to take a stab at it first. Brenda is asking, why does voting matter more than usual this election? Why does it seem to be that way?
I think when it comes down to everything that's been going on in our nation, things you see on the news, things depending on what city you're in that you might see and feel in person, between race and rights for different ethnicities and even male, female, down to that. I think it's very important in that way.
Yeah,
Laura,
for sure.
thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, I obviously agree with everything Jeremy just said, and we also have, we're combating like economic inequalities in a lot of what's around us right now. And we're dealing with, in a lot of areas, we're dealing with poverty in America. So, I think it's important that, everybody is aware that this is happening. And everybody is right now fighting for access or the right to, have living wages, affordable housing, affordable healthcare, safe work environments. And I think what's kind of come to light is that we've created policies in a lot of places that are just favoring the wealthy, or just favoring, certain individuals, when, we have the means and we have the ability to, really make this for everybody. So.
Yeah, that's perfect.
Yeah, that was so well said, both of you all. I mean, I could say a list of why voting matters so much this election, but I think, I'm Gen Z, and just to see like how my Gen Z peers are showing up on social media and like online right now to talk about how important this election is has been really cool to see.
Yeah, I'm not Gen Z, but y'all are killing it.
Thank you. I will take that. Thank you.
Yeah, you can take that on behalf of your entire generation. It's fine. All right, here's another critical question. How long will it take for the vote count to take place? So I have a very long answer for this, but if anyone wants to go first.
Ooh. I mean, it's usually pretty clear, the night of, right? As far as like which direction it's going to go. But I mean, but then you have to, you take into consideration, the uncounted ballots, I don't know. It's a good question.
Yeah, so that's definitely part of it. Usually, and we're so used to, by 10 p.m. on the news, they say so-and-so has won. That will most likely not be the case this year. The only way that'll happen this year is if it's a complete blowout, which is possible, but not likely. What's much more likely is that we don't know the result on the evening of November 3rd. It could take a few days, it could take a week, it could even take a couple weeks before we have an official count, because vote totals aren't certified until early December in most states. So what you see on the news when they say so-and-so has won, that's a projection. Those aren't official until each state certifies their vote, which generally doesn't happen for a couple weeks. This year though, because of the amount of mail-in ballots and a lot of chaos and confusion because of COVID, it's very, very unlikely that we will have a result the night of the 3rd or even maybe a few days later. That's not to say that the system isn't working. That's not to say that one side has rigged it or the other side has rigged it. It's just the circumstances that we're under because of COVID. So don't freak out. Don't let anyone freak out. The system is in place and it is looking already like it's working as it is designed to work. It's just going to be it's just going to take a lot longer than normal. In some states, they have made it so that ballots that are still coming in, as long as they were sent before November 3rd, they can still be counted up to, I believe, 9 days after the election. So it could be we don't get a result until a week and a half later, and it's totally fine. It's just because of COVID. So.
That really seems to be the 2020 explanation for everything, right? Just because of COVID.
It's 2020. Nothing's working the way it should. Try to be calm. Every time I've talked to people, I keep saying it's going to take longer. Don't expect a result Tuesday night. We might get one. It's possible, but it's not likely.
It's not likely at all, yeah. All right, well, here's a cool question. What's some advice you guys have for first-time voters?
I think the biggest thing that, especially like working at Zumiez and having a lot of first-time voters on my team, and talking to them throughout this whole year, especially, coming up to this election. The biggest thing is to educate yourself and make up your own decision. Find what matters to you, and research it and look into the things that your vote will do to impact that. And yeah, so just educate yourself and make up your own mind.
Yeah, I'd say to first time voters too, like, don't be afraid to talk about voting with your friends. I know the first time I voted, I mean, we were in a global pandemic, but a group of friends, like, we went together and we like grabbed food after. We kind of made it like a social function, but like treat it as something like fun and exciting. It's your first time doing it. So definitely, of course, research what's on your ballot, but be excited about it and like have fun while you're doing it.
There are a couple questions on when is the last day for early voting, when is the last voting day. So let's clear all that up right now. Camille, if you want to take that.
Sure. So early voting is different in every single state. You can go to zumiez.com/standup or our website, votolatino.org, sorry, to check out like what early voting looks like in your state, when deadlines are. You could even use our election center on our website to help you make a voting plan, figure out like what exact polling station you need to go to. Our election center even breaks down like every single candidate and referendum that'll be on your ballot. So it's a great tool to use. The absolute last day to vote is November 3rd, this upcoming Tuesday. Be sure your ballot is turned in by then. Be sure your vote is casted by then. If you are in line November 3rd, and say you live in Texas and the last hour to vote is 7 p.m., stay in line. Once you're in line, you are allowed your vote. Like, do not leave the line. I hope that provided some clarity. Do you all have anything else to add?
No, I think that was perfect. Let's see. I think we have time for 2 more questions. Let's see what we got here.
Here's a good one. What if my mail-in vote gets denied? Can I still show up that day and vote?
So like most things, it's different in each state. And you should go to your state's Secretary of State website or your county's Board of Election website. They may have the answer. In some states, if your mail-in ballot is denied, they will give you a provisional ballot, which there's a bit of nuance with provisional ballots, but basically you're filling out a ballot just in case. If your mail-in ballot then comes in and is counted, your provisional ballot won't count. It's kind of a placeholder ballot. In other places, like I said earlier, you can call your county board of elections if there's a problem with your ballot, and they can try to help you out. Sometimes it may just not work out. There are only very few instances in which you'll get a redo. So make sure to keep track and see if you can keep looking and seeing if there's updates on whether or not your mail-in ballot has been received and accepted. It's important for both. You want to make sure they got it, and you want to make sure that it's going to be counted. So keep calling, keep looking up and seeing online if it's possible that your mail-in ballot was rejected for any reason, and then try to work with your Board of Elections people to rectify it. Camille, you want to pick our last question for the evening?
There's so many good ones. That's why I got really quiet. Here is an incredible, thank you, Kay Moyer, for asking it. And this is our last question for the night. What are some things I can do to encourage my friends and family to vote?
I'd say pick their brains on where their heads are at, on their feelings with how everything's been going in our nation, and getting them more confident that if they go out and vote, it could definitely help out the way things turn out to be.
Yeah, for sure. And again, just going back to that idea of like, you know, kind of finding what it is that they're passionate about, and you know, researching that, like what is it that your vote does to those things that they're passionate about. they might not know that a lot of the things that they, stand behind or that they love to do for fun, they might not realize that that's impacted by their vote. And I think going back to like what you said earlier of like, make it fun, like make it an outing, like, make it something that's fun and cool.
Yeah, for sure.
Definitely. And I want to tie another question that we weren't able to get to something you just said, Laura, about research. Someone else asked how much research would we recommend doing before voting? Do all the research you can until you feel super confident that you, one, know who you're voting for or what you're voting for in terms of propositions and stuff like that, and that you know why. Don't just go off of what your family or friends say. Know that, make sure you do enough research to where your vote, you feel good about your vote, you feel confident about your vote, and you know that after the election, you'll know you did all you could to further the policies and the representatives that you want in power.
Yeah, no, way to scale that back, right? Because I know that that's a lot. Like, research what you care about. What I always tell people, and how I started voting too before I got, I'm literally working for a group that works on voting. Think about the issues you care about. So if it's immigration reform, if it's women's rights, those are my issues I care about. If it, among others, of course, if it's affordable and accessible healthcare for all, whatever it may be, think about it, think it through, and then go from there to see what candidates lean the same way on the issues you care about.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
All right, well, thank you guys so much for tuning in today. I want to thank Jeremy from Santa Cruz and Laura from Zumiez for joining us. Do you guys have any last words for our audience?
Get out there and vote. There's only a couple days left. You got tomorrow and Monday, depending on where you are. Tomorrow could be your last day, so get out there and do it.
And then Tuesday, of course, which is actual election.
And Tuesday, yes.
Yeah, fucking vote. Go do it.
All right, I hope you guys learned a thing or two today about how our votes can really make a difference. It's such an important year this year to get out and vote. We all need to make sure we're doing that. Let's do our part, educate ourselves, our peers, and demand for our voices to be heard. Again, that's how we create change. Keep being perceptive to things, keep listening, and keep learning from others.
This year, you need to vote early if you haven't already voted. Voting on election day is going to be insane, but either way, make sure you have a plan to vote. If you're going to vote by mail, it's too late to count on the mail to get your ballot in on time. You need to drop it off as soon as possible at your nearest election drop box or at an election office. Make sure you know what that is, where that is, look it up, write it down, let all your friends and family know. If you're voting in person, make sure you know where your polling place is. Same thing, make sure everyone you know who's going to vote is prepared and has the resources they need to do it successfully. Make sure you know that your voting rights are. If you are in line when the polls close, you must stay in line. You are still allowed to vote. Do not get out of the line. If you need to make a plan to vote, head to zumiez.com/standup or votolatino.org to get your plan dialed in. Make sure you do it right after this and just have it ready. And finally, make sure all the members of your crew and your family and your friends have their plans dialed in too. Spread the word on everything that you just learned here with us today. If you need a ride to the polls, Voto Latino has partnered with Zumiez and Lyft to help you get there. Text Zumiez to 73179 and claim a ride to the polls. That's an up to $25 ride credit while supplies last.
We also, of course, want to hear what you guys are standing up and voting for this election. Hit the I Voted channel on Discord and tell us what you're standing up for and voting for the chance to be featured on our post-election live stream and to win a $100 Zumiez gift card. Okay, again, last thing I promise, if you post a photo to your Instagram and tag #ZumiezStandUp at Zumiez and at Accomplice, Zumiez will DM you a stash code to unlock a free mystery tea from Accomplice. There are only 250 of these teas available, and they're going to go really, really quickly, so be sure that you vote early and make your post. Also, if you want to do more than just vote, like, we'd love to have you volunteer with us at Voto Latino. You can visit our website for more information on how to text bank with us, or you can text the word volunteer to that same number we said above, 73179, to learn about all we have going on up until November 3rd. All right, guys, don't go ghost the vote. Now is the time. We're super excited. Hopefully, we'll see what comes from it. But again, thank you guys for joining today.
Thanks, everyone.
For the victory lap, though. Whoa, whoa. They ain't never seen nothing like this before. Lit the room when I came through the front door. Ask me if I stress overcome, what for? Train under trees, please pardon my sycamore. Touch burning sands, cross lands, and stormy shore seasons in the year, yeah. Ain't no challenge for champions and chain no fear. Yup, the champ is here, switch gears. We keeping haters in the rear. At the blood, sweat, and tears, and my goal so near. I see my victory so clear. I see my victory so clear. And today, we break through. 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 I know it's lonely at the top, but that's not by speculation. But the position that I got, I climb too high to fall, way too hard to drop. Stop clocks on the speed bag. Every yell under pressure, no jet lag. This is greater than trophies and saluted flags. Titles of fame, the cost is paid. Yay, I carried the cross I made. Deal with the dealer. Baby, the hand was played. New level, next stage. Learn to lead it to legend. Now tell me what's my next stage, yeah. I said the champ is here, switch gears. We keeping haters in the rear. At the blood, sweat, and tears, and my goal so near. I see my victory so clear. And today, we break through. And today, we break through.